Alright, so we're back once again, and today, as you can probably guess, we're going to be talking about ranked, and the things you can expect to experience when you play ranked. Be it for the first time or whether you're a veteran, the experience is going to be all the same. But one thing is for sure, once you play ranked, you're never going to forget about that time you played ranked, because it truly is an unforgettable experience. So, let's get into it, and as always, if you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing. So for a few of you that are unfamiliar with ranked, let me give you a little bit of an overview of what ranked is and how it differs from other game modes. Ranked is basically a random battle, but it's 7v7 instead of 12v12, and it's even more random than random battles usually are. Mostly because you notice more of the crazy stuff people do that you wouldn't normally notice in normal 12v12 battles. Like a Bismarck taking on the role of a DD, and charging through the middle of the map, and other fun, questionable gameplay like that. If you win a game, you get a star, which you can use to progress up the ranks. You need several stars to progress to the next tier, i.e. from rank 10 to rank 9, you need 4 stars, I believe, or maybe 3, anyways. You rank out at rank 1, and then you get the biggest reward of all, not having to play ranked for the remainder of the current season. Now, I go back and forth on ranked, especially in World of Warships. Sometimes I think it's a really good way to test how much you've improved since the last time ranked was out. The ability to knowingly put yourself up against other good players and see how you fare can be really fun and enjoyable for some players, and can even give a real sense of achievement to some in what can sometimes be a pretty difficult game to judge how well you play. But at the same time, ranked can go the other way too. It can make you feel bad about how you play. People can get really intense about either winning a game or losing a game, and I mean really, really intense. Mostly about losing the games, but sometimes winning too. Now, take this with a little bit of salt. It's not as toxic as other mainstream games like League of Legends or Counter-Strike or any big popular game like that. And I think this is for several reasons. For one, the player base just isn't as large, and this is probably one of the biggest reasons as to why communities and games in general become more and more toxic the more and more they grow over time, because eventually when you grow to a certain size, that the type of audience you're going to attract is going to be somewhat negative no matter what you do. That's just basically a fact of the internet. Another reason I believe, and again I could be 100% wrong about this, but of course if I am, I'm sure it'll be pointed out in the comments. Another reason why I think the player base is relatively friendly is due to the demographics of those who play. I find World of Warships, at least the European server where I play, to be more of the older generation, at least when compared to other games, and I've noticed a non-zero amount of military personnel playing the game, which could be another factor in the lack of toxic nature in the game. And I think that brings with it a level of maturity that not many other games have, and therefore you get a lot calmer games with people who are just not as likely to go completely bonkers because you missed that broadside Edinburgh from 8 kilometers in your Vladivostok. Now generally, this is the part of the video where I give you some random ships to play in ranked and call them recommended, but to be completely honest, I've played about 2 to 5 games of ranked this season, as I've been stuck for time and generally don't have a lot of interest for it this season for some reason. So instead, what I thought I would do is this. I'm going to describe 2 different ways that you can play ranked, and one being the enjoyable route and the other being the grinding route, which isn't so enjoyable and will probably leave you with a bit of a bitter taste in your mouth. But let's get into it. These are going to be very short and very sweet, so let's get to it. First of all, the enjoyable route. Now this is the route most sane people take while playing ranked, and it can go a few different ways. One being you log on, you start up World of Warships while you get a beer or drink and ready to climb just a little bit, maybe go from rank 9 to rank 10 and have some fun. And then you lose the first game. But no issue, you're calm, you're collected, you're not a loser, but losing comes with playing the game. You'll win the next one. But you don't. So you decide, smartly might I add, to stop playing ranked for a while, or even the day, and go play some random battles or maybe even a completely different game to cool down for the remainder of the night. Well done, You just executed the smart strategy and you didn't let the toxic nature of a ranking system and perhaps toxic players overtake your sense of enjoyment and fun. So really, well done. And this is the enjoyable route. As soon as the game stops becoming fun, stop playing. Because more likely than anything else is you're just going to lose more and more and more. And your mental state is just going to deteriorate more and more and more and more. But that's the enjoyable route. So let's get on to the grinding route. And now we're moving on to the other route, the grinding route. And this route isn't for the faint-hearted, or for anyone really for that matter. Generally, if you're going to be doing the grinding in ranked, that effectively means that you're going to be counting down the hours until rank starts, and when ranked finally becomes playable, they decide to instantly start playing the game mode. And while the more enjoyable route will only mean that you play maybe about 2 to 5 games a day before you lose the fun element of ranked, the grinding route will have you sitting at your computer all goddamn day long, bouncing between either winning a single star and then losing that same star in the next game, or the alternative, instead of losing / winning a star per game, you actually start bouncing between 2 ranks and never escape that living hell of winning 4 games and finally thinking you're progressing and then losing the following 4 and falling all the way back down to where you started once again. Now, where the enjoyable route has you stopping playing after about 2 to 3 straight losses, the grinding route has you playing until you can barely see your computer screen, and can usually range from 5 games all the way up to 20 to 30 games a day, which I probably don't need to say is pretty intense, and is also why you see some of the most disgusting, most toxic players in ranked. So if I were to recommend a way for you to play ranked, and not a ship, play for fun. If you start losing more than 2 or 3 games in a row, then honestly just take a break, either for 30 minutes or an hour, or hell, even the rest of the day. And it doesn't even have to be from World of Warships completely. You can just go play some random battles, maybe even some co-op battles, or just div up with some friends and go play some random battles. Either's fine. But one thing is for sure, playing more ranked games is going to make you lose more and more and more and more, and you'll make your mood worse than it currently is. But of course, how you play is up to you, and just consider this an opinion built over a long history of playing ranked games. But anyways, so that's it for the video. Usually I play a hell of a lot of ranked, but I just can't seem to find the energy to invest into the game mode at this point, even after ranking out of the last season. So I think I'm going to take my own advice and spend my time doing something a little bit more enjoyable, and by enjoyable I mean making more videos. So if you liked the video, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike, and if you enjoy this content, consider subscribing. But until next time, I'll see you in the next one.